What's up, everybody? So today it's like crazy windy outside. I'm talking crazy windy. There's no way I'm going to be hanging any fiberglass today. So I'm going to take a break from the truck camper and kind of punch out a little bit of knowledge about some RC stuff. Now, I'm pretty new at this. I'm not like a professional or anything. I haven't been crawling and spending millions of dollars on this stuff. But I have gained a little bit of knowledge that I wish I could have asked myself whenever I first got into this hobby. So a lot of people ask me about crawlers. How much should I spend? Which one should I buy? The thing with me is I liked the hard bodies. I didn't really care much for the Lexan plastic bodies. Those are going to be the ones you're going to find that are going to be more like, flimsy and plastic. These are hard bodies for sure. You know, they're pretty scale. We've got a steering wheel and a dash and all that in there. One of the main things that got me into these was the scaleness and the realness of them in the first place. I wasn't really concerned with driving them as much as I was like building them. It's a lot cheaper than building a full vehicle, obviously, and a lot less worried about destroying it as well. So that being said, my favorite is probably the WPL brand. They're affordable. You can get a RTR kit, which is that stands for ready to run. If you're new and you just want the remote and just everything to start driving it, you can get the RTR kit. You can upgrade all this stuff from plastic axles and metal axles and stuff. Show you an example here. One thing with your RTR kits, and one thing just as a base with getting into RC stuff. Your RTR kits are going to come with really basic servos, which is going to be your front steering. So what these are basically going to do, I'll show you the difference here. You can see there's like a correction thing there, so you can kind of correct your trim or whatever, you know. But the main thing is it's plastic and there's some springs and stuff, and it's not a servo motor. Show you the difference here. We actually have a full servo motor in here. The trim option isn't in there because it's on your controller, and the difference between these steerings is going to be with your basic servo, the crappier servo, we'll just call it that. Whenever you go to turn, your motor is going to engage and turn fully the whole time. You may be able to, work that a little bit. There's not even a whole lot of a turn on the controller here, as you can see. So that motor is going to engage full time and be turning. You're not going to have as much control over it like you're going to have a fully proportional steering servo. What that's going to do is when you turn that just a little bit, that's going to turn your wheel just a little bit. You're really going to be able to dial in your crawling and your steering overall. It has way more sensitivity. It's worth it. None of this stuff was overly expensive. The RC 4-wheel drive D90, this is going to be a 1/10 scale vehicle here. You can tell, obviously, it's massive compared to the WPL 1/16. However, this price point is $600. This is $100, I started with this C14 truck. It had the basic servo stuff, the not that great controller and everything, and I just went through and I upgraded everything. As you can see, I put metal axles, metal drive shaft on that. I've got wheel weights in it. I mean, everything's kind of been changed out. It's got a better motor in it, a skid plate. It performs just better. Same thing here, like this. I've got the whole metal kit on this, the front axles, the drive shaft, and this one has a totally different motor. I think it's like the brushed or brushless 340 motor. I don't know. I'm not super pro at this, you guys. Don't quote me on the things that I'm saying with the motor size wise, but I can post a link to these. There's multiple motors. You can fit pretty much a lot of options of different things in these WPLs. You can upgrade them. They're great. They're affordable. They are hard body. They are super scaled down. People are going to be mad at me, but I enjoy these more than the RC 4-wheel drives because they're just more affordable product. Some of you guys are into 3D printing, and this stuff is awesome. I 3D printed this entire camper shell here. This is actually a file off Thingiverse, so it's not something I created, but it's something I kind of modified out a little bit and made my own, and that's a great way to really start with 3D printing. This truck bed here, this was also 3D printed. There's another file that was on Thingiverse. I'll leave a link to that below. Soldering and just doing lights and stuff is awesome on this. It's just such a fun thing to do. Yeah, before we get sidetracked here, we'll move on to these 124 scales. So I have a couple RGTs, I think RGT, an Element, and a Axial SCX24. These are super popular right now. I am a little upset with the Axial stuff right now. I almost went with one of their 110 crawlers, but with this 124th, I've just been burning up motors. They're hard to find again. I've been burning up ESCs. They're 60 bucks, you know. I've just had a better time on my foam track with the 124 scale stuff. So I'm glad I got these. But the WPLs are larger. If you're gonna build yourself an indoor like foam track or something, the 124s are great. I recommend the non-axials. If you really want to get in and, you know, upgrade all your internals with the axials, then sure, get one of those, upgrade it, spend the money on it. But if you're just getting into it and you want something out of the box that you can have fun with your kid or just your friends or something, the RGTs are like around $100 with the remote, and they have fully proportional steering and everything's pretty good on them. I can't complain. The wheels are a little bit smaller than the axials, but it kind of looks more scale if you're into that. Yeah, so I guess we'll start breaking down these cars and kind of show you the internals and the difference in the servos and show you guys what an ESC looks like if you don't really know what that is. So opened up in the C44 here. This is what your guys' your ESCs are going to look like. Just a basic one. When you order these WPL kits and you want to upgrade them, or you see the kit comes with, you know, the servo and the motor and everything, but it's not going to come with an ESC, a battery, receiver, or a transmitter. So I use these ESCs. This little front switch here is a brake on them. They're not too hard to wire up. There's a lot of other videos on how to wire these straight up to the ESCs, so I'm not going to get into that. But yeah, that's your computer. That's going to tell you're going to send your signal with your transmitter. It's going to catch at the receiver, and from the receiver it's going to run to the computer, which is then going to tell it, you know, what to do forwards, back, sideways, you know, all that information. So when you order a kit, you're going to want a trigger, the receiver. You're going to need a battery pack. You can go with, I'm not even going to get into these, you can go with tons of different batteries. LiPos, these are the basic ones that you're going to get with these kits. And that's pretty much all you're going to need. So yeah, I know this is kind of just a random splurge of information, but I just wanted to drop a little bit of knowledge to let you guys know what you need when you order one of these basic kits. Because when you order something and you wait for it to come in for a couple weeks and you realize you don't have the transmitter and the receiver or the battery to run it, it's kind of a bummer. So if you guys have any questions or anything, drop them in the comments below. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel. I'm going to start making some tiny scale or die stickers that are for RCs, so we'll be giving those out in future videos and doing some more crawling.